Good morning and welcome to another episode of Throwbacks with SPC. I am your host, Reese Paul, the marketing coordinator here at Chopar Complex. As usual, I'm joined by my co-host and boss, Mr. John Arnold. This morning, we have another guest on our show. As we have indicated, if it's your first time watching Throwbacks with SBC, is where we essentially take a look back at our successes, and we're going to be doing this through the lens of our stakeholders. These are artists, promoters, and organizations that have held events at our facility. This morning is no different. This morning we have Mr. Dwain Bedlow, the managing director of Venus Promotions. As many people are aware, Showpark is more than just our main auditorium and our meeting rooms. There are alternate uses of our facility, particularly the grounds outside. And Mr. Bedlow and his organization have used the grounds at our facility and has had quite a bit of success. Welcome to the show, Dwayne. I know that that has been a bit of a mouthful.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate being here. It's nice being here. Mr. John Arnold, good morning.
Yes, Dwayne, morning. And it's a big morning for you, right? For
Yes,
many
sir.
reasons. For those of you out there who don't know, Dwayne is an entrepreneur and is also, what I would call a creative designer in his own right, in that he has conceptualized all kinds of car shows and he's come to Show Park and shared his vision and also shared his concept of what he wants to achieve with it. And I thought that the events that he has had so far have been really, really successful. And so it's a pleasure to have you here today, Dwayne, to talk about your event. I'm sure a number of our listeners and viewers didn't even know such an event took place. But today is the
Yeah,
day we will show some pictures and let's show off about the event. And again, another aspect of the use of Chopin. Floor is yours.
yes. Um, so basically, keeping shows at Shaw Park was one and unique because most of the other facilities I would have used before are smaller venues. So Shaw Park in itself had its own challenges, and it was really a task to see that I was able to accomplish it throughout that.
So, I mean, how, when, from the picture, I think we have some pictures. Maybe if we put
Yeah,
some
they're
of the
live
pictures.
now.
Yeah. So if we get some, yeah, some. So in terms of the turnout, Dwayne, I noted the last time I came, it seemed to attract really young people. Is that your target audience?
Originally, it would have started that way, but I've come to realize that the shows, I guess it's the way I set it. It's family oriented, so you see all different age groups because I cater for the kids. I have entertainment that actually gets all the older guys involved. And depending on the venues I use, I realize with the culture here, it attracts different people. So when I use the Buku integrated facility, the nature of that show is I incorporate goat racing with it. Mainly because I realize that when you have shows in Trinidad, if you say 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock, the place is full. However, when you keep a show in Tobago, 4 o'clock, people still meeting at the stadium, people meeting at the mall, for everybody to come down as a team. So they don't get to the event till about 6. So I then had to come creative again to come up with ideas to fill that window until they came. So what I did is, like in Boko, I would have the goat racing going on before, and that in itself would attract a lot of tourists. The bigger events, when I go to Roxborough, I heard it before that in Roxborough you keep marble pitching and all, and you would have a crowd. I don't know if it's because there's an activities up in the countryside, but the amount of people and family members come out in the country. And there's something about Shore Park everybody just loves. I guess it's the same way when you're in Port of Spain and you go by Napa. You see it as a tourist landmark that you want to take pictures. So people love the building. They would come to my show and everybody want to have the Shore Park complex in the background and that kind of thing.
Background, yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, Risa.
I just thought that you would have handled this. Okay,
No,
Dwayne, so
you were going good. I saw it on your face.
okay, I was just listening to what you were talking about in terms of adapting, depending on where you have the event.
Yeah.
I would have passed you for a little bit last year, and I know that okay, you would have officially registered the business in 2018, but you would have just been
Yeah.
involved in car shows and promotions for much longer. Was a large venue like Shopak always a goal that you had? That is what you envisioned? When it is that you would have started? I
Um,
know that you would have started with Airports Authority and then you came into having Venus Promotions and all of that.
well, the event itself basically grew on me because when I did it, I did it as under the because I'm the president of the Sports and Culture Club at the airport. So I'm accustomed to doing events of that nature, whether it's sporting activities, whether it's keeping Christmas trees for kids. So we are accustomed doing events and doing the car show because it was something for staff. It was of a small nature. So the smaller venues used to be ideal, but it started to
Ah,
attract. It started to attract a lot of people who weren't airport workers because of the quality of it. And what would have
right.
happened is that I think I have an edge as a promoter where car shows are concerned because I go to a lot of car shows. So I see it through the eyes of a patron. And I know exactly from the time you go at you're greeted at the gate what you expect. When you get inside the toilet facilities, what happens in the entertainment, what you look forward
Yeah,
to. And then I also have vehicles that I compete with. So I'm a competitor. So I know
right,
what goes on in the field of what type of judging you're looking for, what needs to be going on, what to capture the crowd. So being a promoter in the same field, the passion is even more because I'm deep in it. I'm really involved in it
right, right,
at different
right,
aspects.
right.
So
But Tony,
the transition is like
I have a mini to enter a turbo mini, but keeping that a secret, we'll talk about off camera. Um, I have to get involved in that. But so tell me a bit about the format. When I came last time, I was really interested in that. I noticed you had a section for the driving part. You had a section for the what I call the guys who show off. Then you had a section with the sound.
yeah,
Tell us a bit about the format because what I liked was that I went to the top, the balcony of Shore Park, and looked down to have
yeah,
a kind of drone helicopter view of what was
yeah.
taking place. And it was amazing. That was amazing for me. I have those pictures still, you know. So, I mean, talk about the format of your show. And recently, maybe you could show some of um, those, those, um, those pictures again, you know.
Okay.
Right, so this show in particular has different elements to it. As you would have highlighted, there's the sound off where the guys compete against each other at different categories. The categories are distinguished by, for example, this speaker. It's a double 15 category from Trinidad. And that vehicle would be, no matter how much speakers they have on the doors, how you differentiate that from another vehicle is the bass speakers, the subs. So it being in the category of a double 15 is because there's two 15-inch speakers for bass. So that is how you do the categories for sound. And then there are the guys who have the lights and the screens. Those are show categories. and best paint job, and they have hydraulics and that kind of thing. So, and
Yeah,
every
the
category,
hydraulics one, yeah.
every category actually brings to the show different crowds. So there are people that come to the show for different interests. And then there are the
Ah,
guys who do the drifting. That's your category, the speed. Um, that's a different crowd. But the challenge I have with the drifting, um, culturally, Tobagonians love the drifting. However, there isn't a place for them to express that. I guess because the police always target them when they do it on the streets. So they look forward to when I have shows
well,
to get to do it.
the street will be illegal.
Right. But however,
But
the
I
venue
think
some
you're identifying, yeah, you're
yeah,
identifying the fact that as part of the sport tourism trust, you remember
yeah,
when we had the Tobago Motor Rally?
right.
I don't know if
Yeah.
you remember that.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe that could be something that authorities can look to develop if it is something that can bring a particular niche of visitors. But in
Right,
terms
yeah.
of encouraging that kind of racing on the street, we can't do that.
Right. So that's another key thing about Shore Park that I love, because when I use other venues, I'm now forced to try to squeeze a cage or arena for the drifting because you can't eliminate
Right,
it. You don't include it in the show, they will disturb your show outside of it. So you'd have
right.
to find a space. Shore Park now, you're able to use one side to do the drifting, and you're able to have this sound and category. So people are able to move around and be free without being choked up in any one area. So Shore Park is very versatile for that, and I love using it for that purpose mainly. The guys are
Yeah,
able to
I
have a
think
bigger space for the drifting and that kind of thing.
yeah, I think why I'd loved when you came with the concept of how you can do this event was how organized you seem to have been, you and your guys, in terms of you all were very clear what you wanted, where you wanted as the entrance, where we can
Yeah,
use in terms of accepting people coming in, and also how you can add infrastructure to make sure that you protect patrons and so on.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think Shobat has that versatility, and I think also the fact that we're very keen on I won't say, I would say well organized, classy events.
Yeah.
Um, and I think so far we've been able to manage the external events, even the all inclusive that we have
Mhm.
allowed, because we have to make sure that patrons respect the fact that we have a venue that we want to keep, pristine. Proper toilet facilities must be provided. People must dress well, and keep the
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
at a certain level so that the the building, the space, becomes associated with a certain standard of how you do
exactly.
things.
Yeah.
And I
So,
think your show, for one, was one that I think we can't fault. Yeah.
yeah,
All
because
the car shows, as a matter of fact. Go ahead.
what I
Go
would
ahead.
have done also is that when I started keeping car shows in particular, there was a lull because we had problems with the boat system. So a lot of Trinidad promoters who usually come to Tobago were afraid to come to Tobago around that time, the Easter and the August vacation, because that's when you have hundreds of cars coming to Tobago automatically for car shows. And I took up the challenge of doing it. However, I would have been mentored by a Trinidad promoter, Mr. Matthew Khan, MK Promotions, who does his shows in Trinidad. So I would have modeled all my shows after him. So automatically
Okay.
coming up as a new promoter, the standard you were seeing was as if I had years of experience. But what I did
Okay.
was manipulated all his shows. I would have selected venues in Tobago that was similar to stuff I would have seen in the stadium or in Miaro. So I would know when I go in the countryside what type of show I'm doing, but I'm modeling it after him, with his permission, of course. And so the standard of my show was upgraded immediately. And I actually gained that respect from other promoters who usually came before. So now you hear in talks where they want to collaborate with me in keeping shows. I guess that's their way of coming back and that kind of thing. But uh, Venus Promotions would have it grew from the small shows from Airport's car show to what it is now because of that. And the standard and
Yeah,
all that
yeah,
is very important.
yeah. Well, you touch a word there, which whole week in different meetings I'm using all week. I think post COVID, this thing about collaboration
Yeah,
and networking, we better start getting accustomed to that. Because if we don't understand that, I think we'll have a real problem moving forward. The thing is so global now, of course, it'd be interesting to know how do you plan to use the virtual platform for your next show when you're doing it, if you're doing it live. How do you plan to use the virtual platform? I mean, can't you twin with an international show agency? Can you twin with a Trinidad, some, I don't know, another organization? Can you all arrange to have it at the same day where your show there and your show here? And, you know, the strengths of those kind of collaborations now is where we will have to do that. By the way, people, Dwayne is also a singer with Signal Hill. And that's the kind of thing I am talking about, where we
yeah,
can do joint things with a group in South Africa. It goes live, one on, you know. But that's how we have to think.
yeah.
Then the thing really starts to make sense from export, sharing, merchandising, selling events, event names, selling event reputation. I mean, the thing can be real big after that. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, where the virtual part of it is concerned, during this COVID time, I guess just as every other promoter, I was forced to, it forces you to be more creative. And just the 21st of last month, I actually had a Zoom car show, and it came back to the same collaborating. So what I did was I collaborated with the guy who does Tobago Sports Live. So he helped with all the technical stuff because he would have been accustomed to doing that on Facebook. And I partnered with guys who from Jugglers International who are accustomed doing these Zoom parties over the COVID period. So
Yeah.
they prepare the platform for us to be able to do it. And it was a lot of challenges in terms of trying to get it perfect. But the same networking I would have had with the guys in Trinidad, they were all excited about it. So they came out in the yard and they would have come together as groups because I did it on Father's Day. So a lot of them automatically were already planning limes in the yard and they were already planning to have people over. So it was nice to broadcast that. What we thought of in the middle of the show is that we should have pre-recorded everything, and what we would have been doing was showing the different pre-recordings and use the Zoom to just show people face and their you know. So it's something that we plan to edit based on what we did already and have it as a production. But moving forward, um, using Shaw Park and different venues for the guys. Now we wouldn't. It's not like we keep our shows indoors to have the social distancing, but now we could use different venues to pre-record different things and put it together as a show to
Right,
be able to
right,
produce it. So I think that is the way moving forward from here.
right.
and
But
also actually
Risa,
streaming
you
shows
wanted to
like.
ask something. I saw it on your face.
No, I was just saying, just on your point of the fact that the shows are outdoors, I thought that you would have also probably moved to capitalize on the fact that in venues like Show Park or even a stadium where you have a lot of space that people could um, social distance, I thought that that would have been something that you would have been able to utilize to your advantage even in this time, unlike events of maybe a different nature where it has to be indoors.
I think that would also call for a lot more creativity also because you need to be able to you don't want to enforce people to move apart or not group up. So it's just being more creative. It could happen, but it's to work out ways of how do you space out a crowd. You have 100 persons, 200 persons in a venue, and how do you make them keep that distance apart from each other? Because especially when competition is going on, you have the barriers where the cars are competing behind, and everybody wants to be right up on the cars to see what is going on. As previous pictures you would have shown, you see how they are packed up
Bunched up together,
watching the
yeah.
show. Yeah, so that in itself would be a challenge.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
but the thing is, you want to be right up to see
you want to
in
see
a car,
everything. Yeah,
and then
yeah.
that becomes, yeah. You can't really social distance that. That's a problem.
Outdoors is
But
difficult. Yeah.
I was part of a conversation where the powerboat racing. I was learning some stuff that some years ago they were trying where they were looking at powerboat racing, for example, as a tourism niche, bringing in um, boat owners from Miami, from different parts of the states, and that was going to bring families and what have you. And then just the bureaucracy of getting the boats in, right, through the, whether it was customs and all the doing business hardships, it became a problem. But I'm
Yeah.
asking you now a question futuristically. Do you think that car shows can be developed to the extent that it can bring, let us say, 500 to 1,000 visitors from overseas as a major event over days? So it becomes people are coming, they're going to bring their cars, but we got to find a way to get the cars to come in without headaches. We have to have, a team of people to just deal with that and so on. But do you see it as something like a niche that we can say, if we pursue it, it is a feasible market that we can certainly pursue and certainly see the rewards, because what you want are events that bring people, and you have in sport tourism you have both the active and the passive. The passive would be all those who accompany those. So
Right.
all the passive people will be the family and friends, but you have the drivers and so on, and the people who own the cars who are coming. But these things, I know a way they do add to cities and the income for the city based on these shows. Do you, as Dwayne from Venus, think that the Tobago House of Assembly can say, hey, this is a niche we can certainly look at?
Yeah. I believe so, and I would draw reference to the show that I really had planned for Easter coming here. I would always say I don't know why COVID did me that. It would have been one of the biggest shows ever I was going to have because
You mean
just for
Easter
that
one?
Easter gone, yeah, I would
Oh,
have
okay.
already had over 130 cars confirmed. I'm talking about all the boats sold out coming from Trinidad alone, which also included all the amount of hotels and guest houses and villas that were already booked with groups and
Right.
families that were coming for that show. So they are also, and it goes back to what you were talking about with networking, because I've been to a show in Trinidad where a drift show where they actually bought a car from China, and that was one of the featured vehicles where everybody came to see.
Wow.
And this same car show that we have in Trinidad and Tobago, there are cars from Trinidad and Tobago that actually go to Grenada. They go on the boat, they go to different car shows outside. And I'm thinking, if we network with some of these islands, these same cars that they have out there that they building could come to Trinidad, come to Tobago, which automatically brings in vehicles to our shows and actually boosts the tourism one time. So it could happen, but it's a lot of networking, and it already exists, as I said. There are vehicles that actually come to Trinidad for shows already from other islands and outside. So
Oh,
futuristically, I
okay.
could see Venus Promotions actually having a number of cars just from the islands or thing. It's just a matter of putting things in place, getting them over on the boats and bringing them here.
What about recording? Do you all keep your data? For example, do you all right now for all the car shows you have had? Do you, because that's a weakness in Tobago. We don't keep we don't do data collection. We
Right.
just don't. We can't say how much money this artist made. We just can't. Can you guys, for example, say how many foreign cars came in, how many visitors, how many direct people came from Trinidad, two cars from Grenada, or how many persons? Do we have any system in place right now to track those things? Because you
Yeah.
see, that is what leads to policy being developed. If you have
Mhm.
data that can then say influence and make people champions or something.
Yeah, well, I guess given that I'm a new promoter, only 2 years going, where I've taken Venus promotion to that level. The stages out of one show, we do have data, and but the show in itself would have grown after a while, because after a while with the pictures and the stuff we post on social media, persons who would have missed past shows would now look forward to come. And then it keeps growing with new faces all the time. So we do have data, and right now the show has reached a stage where, as much as it's a Tobago-oriented show, the majority of vehicles at our shows are Trinidadians at times, and we have
Oh, okay.
we have that volume coming from Trinidad now, because everybody it's unique. It's things we offer over here. The cultural part of it is laid back. People have fun and they look forward to coming to take advantage of the beaches and being able to go around the island one time while they're here, and the food. And when you come to the show, the concessionaires and the people that sell it actually have that also. So they look forward to coming to Tobago. So the market from Trinidad alone has grown. And I guess as we develop more, we will start to have more cars from the islands and that kind of thing.
Earlier, you were saying that you were planning like a huge event for Easter, and then of course we all know the pandemic COVID-19 just affected all of that. Moving forward, are there any contingencies that you think you'd be putting in place to, I don't know, possibly mitigate any fallout from any event that you're planning? I know that you were talking about having recordings done and that sort of thing. Well, Miss Sana
Yeah,
was also alluding to that as well about,
right.
documentation, like in case,
So, right. So what would have happened in the past? Um, car shows would have been more like parties, boat rides, and that kind of thing. So the people you focus on is photographers. So you want to make sure you have photographers there so that they could take enough pictures that people get to look back and see themselves and that kind of thing. But with the COVID-19 coming in, you realize that your staffing now is beyond photographers. I need to have like a whole camera crew now, because the footage of actually recording your show is so critical in
Yes,
marketing it,
critical.
and even streaming it now, because I have to make that part of my shows now, that I actually other than the people that come into these shows, even though they open up back, it still wouldn't be as normal as before. So now you need to stream shows so that even though you have people at the show, people outside could be able to still take it in. So that is basically what I'm focusing right now on, building a sort of media team to come on board the Venus promotion staff.
I think my only piece of advice to you, which because the event industry is such a critical one to me, and I think it is both the event and the creative industry. They're very passionate to me, and tourism, of course, because of the strong connection. But when I listen to the World Health Organization talking about we may be in these rules and COVID protocols for at least another 2 years. Wow. That means that the whole event industry has to find. I was discussing it with my another director from copyright, because copyright is about events, and we were just discussing what a nightmare that could be for event promoters, for artists, for people who participate in sport. I mean, this could be a real, not just a monetary nightmare, but a social nightmare, a mental nightmare.
Yeah.
You know, I found myself, it's funny, if I didn't have, I had to find ways to play music because I miss playing music. You know, during the COVID, I had to literally put myself to say, no, let me produce some shows, let me sit. And if you don't do that, you feel as though something else going wrong, because I'm accustomed every weekend playing music. And suddenly that was taken away from me. So when you think about the kinds of adjustments we have to do, I think we have to really be innovative, thinking through the next 2 years. If this is going to be more like the normal, we have to find a way. I don't know how it's going to work, brother, but yeah, I think the challenge is there for everybody. It's really there.
But we saw one of the advantages I also have, being a part of the Signal Hill Alumni Choir. I'll be able to piggyback on a lot of ideas that Mr. John Arnold will be doing with the choir. So I am dying to see in terms of what events he'll be hosting and how he's going to come up with all the different ideas so that I could incorporate it also.
That's a smart move for sure.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Being one of my, one of my mentors, it's very easy to
you're on the right path. Yeah, you're on the right path. The idea about collaborating with people who did events before, like what you're doing with the guy in Trinity, you're definitely on the right path. But this has been really good info. I'm sure listeners and viewers, maybe very surprised at some of the things they heard. That's happening or that have happened right here in Tobago and will continue to happen. Recent news, we're going to be opened in August with 3 brand new chillers that we got for air condition. It's going to be a fridge, but patrons come into shows, and because you have to do social distance, will obviously have to be clothed properly.
Appropriately, yeah.
Appropriately, yes. And, we look forward to opening again to the public. And certainly with your event, if you want to do the virtual preparation in terms of taping it and so on, we welcome that. Yeah. We welcome that whole idea, because that's the way we have to look at the next 2 years as being a kind of really critical period to put things back on stream. I don't know if it will ever come back, but we have to play it, season by season, You see?
Mr. Arnold, before you continue, given the versatility of Shore Park Complex, is Shore Park even able to do indoor activities like that? I know it's able to open up, but what is the song and all of that able to have cars on the inside?
So, certainly we won't do that.
Or you've never explored that.
that has several. That has several parts to it, but we won't discuss that online. We'll have to sit down in the meeting room. Yeah.
I see.
Thank you, Dwain, so much
Right.
for joining us this morning. For anyone who's looking, do you want to let them know where they could find more information about Venus Promotions when it comes to future shows or just seeing images from the past shows on social media?
Well, we are on social media. We are on Facebook or Instagram. Venus Promotions. You could just search it and you'll get one.
Okay.
Outside, well, from the Facebook and the Instagram, you would get all the different contact information, emails, and that kind of thing. So we are on social media, and so it's on the platform
Good
there for
then.
anyone who's
That's
trying to reach
good.
us. Yeah.
Okay, great.
That's good.
Thank you again so much to our viewers for logging on. Again, Throwbacks with SPC will continue with different promoters, organizations where we just look at our successes as an organization. You can definitely catch up on these episodes. You could like, follow, and subscribe. All our social media handles are the same, Show Park Complex, on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. All of the past episodes are there, and this episode will be there immediately after we end this broadcast. Thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next week as we continue to walk down memory lane of Show Park's successes. Thank you so much for watching.
Nice. Thank you.
Nice. All right, Dwayne, thanks.
All right.